I've never been able to fit neatly into a box. I'm bisexual, polyamorous, disabled, a sex worker, and recently I came out as non-binary, after realizing that the negative feelings I had been having toward my body were gender dysphoria. For most of my life, I was thin, which fit the androgynous style I had been subconsciously expressing. During my late 20s, I started to gain weight, and for the last couple of years my new curves had been making me feel incredibly uncomfortable in my skin. I no longer knew what to wear because of my large breasts. When I was naked they seemed like foreign objects I needed to get rid of, not a beautiful part of me. But as a sex worker, it was easy to use my breasts as part of a uniform that men found attractive. I covered them with lingerie just like the other sex workers I saw. As an escort, I had been using Femininity as a way to attract clients for years, and before that, I had been using it to attract partners. Growing up, I was a tomboy who tried to play tackle snow soccer with the boys, who refused to play with me. But as society put pressure on me to dress and behave in a more feminine way, I did. Whenever I had a date with a man or met a partner's mother, I would put on a dress and speak in a higher pitch. These are stereotypes, of course, you don't have to do anything to be a woman. But I guess I knew that I was different at an early age, and to survive I told myself that I needed to blend in. However, not being yourself takes a toll. Slowly, over the years, I've been experimenting with things that made me feel more comfortable and authentic. In all my relationships, I've borrowed my boyfriend's t-shirts. But in my last one, I started borrowing my boyfriend's boxers. He would comment that he preferred women's underwear and that maybe I was trans, and although he ended up being right, it goes to show just how gendered our society is when a woman can't even wear comfortable underwear without being interrogated. When I realized I was non-binary, I was isolating during the pandemic. I was taking a break from sex work, was long distance from my partner, and was beginning to question everything I had been doing under the male gaze. How did I want to express my gender now that it was just me in the room? I stopped wearing makeup and started shopping in the men's section. Immediately I was angry that I had missed out on pockets my whole life. I watched men like Machine Gun Kelly rock out on YouTube, having gender envy and wishing I could look and behave like him. As I got vaccinated and prepared to go back to escorting, I started to feel this looming dread. I was a different person now. I couldn't go back to dresses, heels and lingerie. As I was reunited with my partner, I struggled to have sex with him. It wasn't that I wasn't attracted to him, it was that I didn't know how to have sex with him without performing femininity. I didn't want to perform femininity for anyone again, even if it meant I was going to have to retire from sex work and be broke. Recently I've been taking some time to explore my gender. I chopped off my long hair and immediately felt like I could breathe again. I went to a gender-neutral hair salon and specifically asked for a men's haircut. When I went to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror, I finally understood what gender euphoria felt like. Later that day, I bought large sweaters to hide my chest and men's joggers to hide my hips. I stopped shaving my legs for the first time since I was a child, and to my surprise I actually love it. Every day when I put on my clothes and run my hands through my hair I feel a sigh of relief that I am finally becoming the person I knew I was as a child. Authenticity is the most important thing. As I've grown older, the idea of pretending to be someone I'm not in order to feed myself makes me increasingly unhappy. I know that a lot of trans people can't transition, and that it's a privilege to be able to be yourself, especially when you don't fit within the binary. Earlier this year, I was terrified to wear a baseball cap over my long hair because I feared someone would think I looked too masculine. Even though it sounds irrational, that's how scared I was to be myself. Now, I'm welcoming a journey of self-discovery, playing around with my appearance and looking for a gender therapist. And even though I'm not doing sex work right now, I'm still using my sex work Twitter to explore who I am. I even changed my name to something that feels more like me, Forrest. Every so often, when I scroll through Twitter, I find more and more non-binary and trans-masculine sex workers I didn't know existed. I became a sex worker because it was the best option for me as a disabled person at the time. It made me feel good that people found me attractive, despite the fact that I was disabled. It's nice to know that if I wanted to go back to sex work, there would still be clients for me. Even though I don't feel comfortable going back to work right now, it gives me hope that maybe I can be myself in a job I loved, and learn to love it again. Do you have a compelling personal story you'd like to see published on HuffPost? Find out what we're looking for here and send us a pitch.